what this game's going to be.
Wow, really taking some time on this one.
What if it's a carry centaur? What if it's mid centaur versus mid Darkseer?
That's what we said a lot of dumb things on this.
We have, however, seen a carry centaur before.
Yes.
No, not this tournament.
That goes way back.
That's way back. What
It wasn't that way back. It was like maybe not even half a year ago.
WSG time?
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think that Alchemist is a hero that OG may go back to if you're not careful. I don't know if you have to fourth ban it, because I feel like if you're OG, you may really consider like fourth pick Alch. You have a Darkseer Starladder, very good defending high ground. So I do feel like that can play into an Alchemist strat very well. It's normally something OG kind of leave like as a last minute surprise, but I would legit consider an Alch if I'm OG here.
Yeah, of course.
You wouldn't wait for it to be a last pick?
I think more like a fourth pick, because I think it could very well be fifth banned.
Yeah.
So I think you'd rather fifth pick it, but with the if you feel like an Alchemist is going to win you the game, then fourth pick it, because otherwise it's going to get banned. And Anna's pool right now is what, Invoker still in the pool.
Yeah, but if they fourth pick it, there's still a fourth pick of VG.J after that, so they still got 2 picks to prepare for it.
No, absolutely. They could pick Timbersaw against it, lots of things. No tail Gyrocopter. He loves this hero. I saw him actually just playing a pub last night on it where he went like 15-1 against his own teammates.
Damn.
He's one of the few players who seems to still make Gyrocopter relevant.
I mean, people have tried this before in this tournament. It did not work out.
It's a fighting carry. Combos well with the vacuum crush into call down and all that.
Super surprising.
It's a good space creating carry if you want to go Alchemist. This is where I'm like, yeah, go Alchemist, guys. You got Gyrocopter, you can create space.
Free Ags. Huh? Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it certainly goes away from the bit of a greedier carry philosophy that we saw last game, one of the strengths of Gyrocopter being able to mix it up very well early on.
Going high ground just got a little bit harder.
Yeah.
For OG anyway, as Keeper of the Light will be in the hands of VG.J again.
Could be seeing that Underlord picked up again, eh? No.
Unless you do have the Alchemist, like God said, again, being able to deal with some of that nuke and wave clear and just heal his way through it.
I mean, look at Alchemist and Invoker, the two main Ana heroes I see left, I want to say. He doesn't play Shadow Fiend. He's going to go for the Invoker, though.
Okay.
So not wanting to go too greedy. This reveals pretty much everything. They haven't picked up Fly's hero, but I expect something pretty standard.
Yeah, we
Crystal
still have a lot of
Maiden
his
or
heroes in the
something,
pool. Dazzle.
Yeah, Dazzle.
Obviously the main one in that case. Any heroes for Fly that would pair up better with the Gyrocopter?
Maybe something like Avenge as well.
I think CM is sick just because you have so many heroes that benefit from the aura this game. Darkseer, a lot of the nerfs he received was to the Iron Shells. Wow.
Oh! The crowd's laughing at the Naga's time.
Naga!
Normally,
Back to our roots.
Yeah,
80-minute games. Farm Wars. Yeah!
Actually, this is very different to the crowd's reaction to Naga. I think back when OG was playing Naga at MDL back in September, the crowd groaned noticeably every time. It's like, oh, we've got a 70-minute game on our hands.
Does Freeze play Naga? I haven't followed his TDC Masters games or anything.
I have not seen it competitively.
Okay.
A 0% win rate coming into this match.
Look, that's out of 3. Small sample size.
Yeah, sure.
That's probably DC playing it or something.
So it's probably an aggressive Naga, or is it Freeze, do you think?
I haven't seen aggressive really played either, so...
It's not an aggressive hero.
No, aggressive
in both ways.
In your face.
Yeah.
Naga's anything but in your face.
I'd rather see playing Centaur, you know?
What if it's an F-wide?
What if it's an off-lane Cottle and a mid-Warlock and a safe-lane Centaur?
Then you have to send the Darkseer mid.
Yeah, Darkseer has to go mid, Shiver. We've been over this. Come on, keep up.
No, I think, in terms of curveballs, it did work out very well last game. And, there are some curveball possibilities, but at the same time, you can't go too crazy.
I like this. We saw this with Wings against Newbee back at Genting, right? They had like a pocket pick lined up basically every game, right? They had the Necrophos. I forgot what it was the other few games, but just something a little bit to throw things off from the team that is probably the favorite or the most consistent. So, again, that swashbuckling attitude, I love that. And who knows? I think this series
is Gyro is kind of like a surprise pick, though, I feel, at the same time.
Yeah.
But with Gyro, you want to end this game fast before the Naga gets all those items, so... Not exactly the best hero to deal with illusions.
With Side Gunner, however, he can fire during sleep. Isn't that correct?
Yes, it's correct.
Just pointing that out. Alright, Weaver is going to be picked up there.
If you're worried about late game, I think you might consider Lion just to clear the illusions, but I think the CM or the Dazzle's like the better support to fit your draft. Like CM Aura for the Darkseer, the Gyrocopter is amazing. Dazzle's really good for early aggression, but
You get the root for the Weaver as well.
yeah, root for Weaver. But if you're worried, if you think it's going to go late, the Lion is just the better natural illusion clearer. So those are the main considerations for OG.
You think the Lion?
Yeah, go CM though. The Lion and CM. Yeah.
I like that CM pick. I mean,
Yeah.
as Mr. Parker said, a lot of mana, a little bit of stuns, keeping that early game and give him that advantage. But, whoo, man, the team fight coming out from VG, boys.
So who is going to face Team Liquid in the grand finals? That is the question that is on all of our minds. Jake.
You know what? Screw it. I'm going to be going with VG.J. I mean, they got Naga, they got Warlock. Let's freaking go.
I like VG.J, but I think OG got exactly what they want with the Darkseer Starladder. I'm gonna stick with OG.
I mean, you were kind of set from the start, Jack. Do I need to ask you? Are you just gonna go for OG or?
I'm not going to step away from that. I like the synergy in OG's draft, and I still think that they're executing at a very high level right now. I think as long as they don't get out-drafted, anything throws them off too much, I think they're good.
All right, well, we will find out. It is time for the final game of the semi-finals. Over to ODPix.
VJ and OG, I'm ODPixel, I'm here with Malini. We've seen the drafts again, exciting stuff as they switch it up once more.
Did you
OG
see the Naga?
Gyro, I mean, Naga,
I feel like that's
what's
just
going on?
it's so exciting. Actually, Naga is kind of exciting now.
Naga is exciting.
I do like Naga.
If you're a person who hates yourself and life. I mean, the other heroes, Ben, they're exciting. But Naga's starting. Let's talk about this. So they picked up the Naga.
Yeah, and it is actually Freeze playing it.
It is Freeze playing it. The panel had some questions about what we're going to see, and you know, we haven't seen a lot of Freeze. You know, is this new player? Mid lane Naga. Are OG ready to deal with this? The Nagas come through. Do you feel that OG have a lineup that can deal with the potential threat of a huge Naga, or is it about finishing the game early for OG?
That's usually the main concern when you're up against the Naga Siren. Can you actually finish the game early? Like, even if you win the lanes, you still have to be able to take racks, take some T3s, and Gyrocopter, not the best building hitter, same with the Invoker, so I'm actually a little bit scared for the high ground defense. I do think they have a lot stronger lanes, like mid Naga versus Invoker. Invoker's perfectly okay. I do like the root on the Crystal Maiden too, set it for the Sunstrike. If they went for something like Lion for the Hex, it gets countered pretty hard by Stampede. And I do like the root a little bit more versus the Weaver. I don't know. Naga Siren, she doesn't have a good lane to go in. Mid's not that great, especially Invoker with the CM aura. Top lane is just terrible. You don't want to be matched up versus Darkseer. And bottom lane is going to be occupied by Centaur. So I'm a little bit fearful for the Naga Siren. I also just don't particularly favor the heavy farmers. Naga Siren, one loss by Liquid earlier. Anti-Mage, one loss, another loss by Liquid earlier. And it just doesn't really seem like the particular patch, maybe nor the tournament for these type of heroes.
But is it the patch for Gyrocopter? That's another hero
think
that's been very hit and miss when we've seen it come through.
I like Gyro with the Axe builds. And
you like the Axe build?
Yeah, Axe is good.
Okay.
You can do damage while... I think one of the really underestimated parts about Gyrocopter, there's not that many heroes that can do a lot of damage while moving. It's like Leshrac,
it's true.
Gyrocopter, and mobility is going to be pretty important in the fights. You're going to be kited a lot by the Weaver, by the Centaur, so on and so forth. And you also don't die a lot. We used to see like S&Y rush on Gyrocopter, so you get a lot of HP. You would even get the Sage before the Yasha because you wanted to survive.
I mean, do you think? What do you think Noto's going to do this game? Is it going to be kind of? Will he still get the? I mean, Helm's got to be a surefire bet, surely, on the Gyrocopter. So do you think you can skip it as long as you can phase SMY?
Helm is just like, you don't really want to be stacking and farming. Even if you get Helm, you still play very actively with a creep. So anything that helps them team fight is generally what I deem the best build. Naga Siren I actually think is viable without the Radiance build, personally. You know how there's like non-Radiance build Alchemist? I do actually believe that with the talents, Naga Siren has some pretty good ones for actually manning out. You get 125 health pretty early on, 15 agility, 30 attack speed. You have like a lot of damage talents that you can right-click and. Keep in mind that these are mostly terrible with Radiance. Like, Radiance has very little synergy with attack speed, agility, so on and so forth. So, well, he goes, but I haven't seen anyone actually try it in a professional game just because Naga's not really that popular. But I think with a keeper, your idea is to wait until late game, get Radiance, split push, get huge.
But as you mentioned, you feel that in the early game, in the mid lane, Freeze might have a bit of a tricky time against Hannes Invoker.
Yeah, they don't have good heroes to roam. Like, are Warlock and a Keeper really going to help out the Naga Siren? Like, kind of. You can, like, throw heals now and then.
I mean, I guess they can, because Aggressive himself on the Weaver, he doesn't need too much help in that lane. You know, he can kind of be left alone, can't he?
Yeah, but even if the supports like leave and go mid, you're not worried about dying. Like, what's Warlock going to do? Just heal you and then you just run away.
Yes,
just go to quad. Like, they have very little kill potential in the mid lane. Like, you kind of just free to do whatever you want. And that's great for a Crystal Maiden. You don't want to have to help out your mid lane. You can just get level 2, level 3, get some levels of an Arcane Aura, and like, boom, okay, all lanes secured.
It's true, that aura is very, very tasty. And the lanes, as they come through, nothing too surprising.
There is FY already in the offlane with ROTK. ROTK has struggled into 1-on-3 situations, and they've mitigated that a lot. Firstly, throwing FY in the safe lane last game. ROTK in the jungle with the Iron Talon, which he's had a lot of success with, but this game they are actually going to throw FY down there, and they have a really nice ward on the bottom lane. We're not actually able to see some of the illuminating stuff.
Jerax, I don't think he was hiding in the tree line. Comes across, and in fact, well, with the homing missile, No Tail and Jerax surrounding ROTK. Do they have the damage to bring down ROTK? Very, very tanky, nonetheless. But they come in with a second frostbite, and they'll do it. And there we have it, Ben. Level 1 homing missile.
You are the
Who would have thought it?
You are the most anti-rocket person I've ever talked to.
I know. I think I'm crying inside. Level 1 homing missile. I mean, it did the job, Ben. I mean, that is. You don't see that every day.
You don't. 125 damage.
Yeah.
Does not sound like a lot.
But it's the setup, the surprise potential.
It definitely was.
They were like, wow, he's got missile level 1, boys. And I guess it makes sense as well, over the time, just all the nerfs to rocket barrage. Level 1, the damage that does is very underwhelming in comparison to the beast that Gyrocopter was in the past.
Usually you like damage though without the rocket barrage, but
true.
When you have 3 heroes there with the right click, it certainly helps.
S4 on this top lane. I mean, do you feel that is this a pretty easy lane for S4 to have free farm up here?
Darkseer's gotten so many nerfs. Not so many nerfs, but the most recent one is really painful. The one where he has 2 clarities in lane on top of having CM Aura. That's how badly the mana nerf has hurt the Darkseer. You actually have to think twice about picking him as off laner, which is a good thing.
That's a bit of a clap from the crowd there as FY is able to farm the homing missile. But indeed, just No Tail sending it out, keeping ROTK well away from the creep wave. Trying to make sure he finds a limited experience from this lane. Middle lane, Anna versus Freeze. The Naga with the poor man shield, he's doing okay. He's 13 for 2 against the 11 for 2. He's holding his own very nicely in the middle.
He is indeed.
Both safe lanes, 16 for 3 on aggressive. No Tail 10 for 5, so a little less on the CS, but does have that involvement in that first split, of course.
The CS doesn't count the mirror illusion kills or mirror image kills, which gives not that much goal, not that much experience, but still all right, I suppose.
S4 level 4, very has that money in fact to get the Soul Ring out. Now help himself sustain a little better in the lane. Keep that pressure onto aggressive underneath the tower. As it happens at the moment, aggressive well and truly fine. You've got Fenrir pulling off the pulls and keeping good momentum of that top lane. Good control, so they find as much as they can, the 2 of them out of it. RTK coming forward once more, but does have to be careful. Constantly Fly and Jerax looking for any sort of opening to come in for a bit of a kill. But, I mean, RTK, as we saw, even the first time when they did kill him, it takes a lot of time. That Centaur's incredibly tanky in this laning stage.
They also have the Observer Ward in the lane, so they're not really going to be able to catch Centaur that far away. Every time he gets Rocket, he pulls back into the Keeper's line of fire for the Illuminate.
Jax just getting away with stealing the bounty rune.
They had the Observer Ward up there, so they actually expected someone else to be jungling very early on into the game. Probably the Centaur. Expecting him to face up a couple of deaths early. But I don't think they expected FY to start down on the bottom lane. And now that it's nighttime, it's really difficult to actually deal with this. You can't always have eyes on the Keeper light, so he can just be casting Illuminate from any of the trees, really. FY. TP to the mid lane, drop an Observer Ward. And it looks like that will be the extent of his actions.
Well, Jax isn't going to be able to do anything about that. He's zipping around with the haste rune. Bottom lane, RTK. Another missile connecting. Oh, no follow-up, no tell. He's trying to keep control of the space that he has down here on the safe lane. And it is aggressive, still having the better time in lane up on the top. Not missing a creep by the looks of it. Bottom lane, no tell. He's going to try and go in back with the rocket barrage. Ooh, it's incredibly close. The turnaround play is there as FY is there for the silence, but a nice sunstrike from Anna. Make sure that the trade does happen.
That's pretty close. I think Gyrocopter just picked up his face boots, so not the worst death in the world for him. Also was the second kill of the game, so I think that's pretty even. Gyrocopter had the split experience with a couple of heroes in the early game, so he's kind of on par with Centaur's level.
As mid lane, as it's been going on, both heroes just continue to get even farm.
Yeah, he can't really clear the illusions super easily.
Yeah.
So he's able to get a lot of last hits with those. Especially, like, we haven't actually seen too much Naga Siren since the shield change on illusions. Now you get the poor man's shield onto the illusion, so it's quite nice.
Ooh, fly. Could be in trouble here. Took the rune. Aggressive's out of there. Jarex was in the neighborhood to back up Fly if anything kicked off.
Slow pace is good for a Naga Siren. This is a relatively, slower game. There's some stacking going on. There's like some bounty, rune invasion going on, but overall not too many smokes, not too many people right-clicking on towers, just a lot of people hitting creeps and kind of the slow pace that you want. And FY, he wants to make sure that he's completely comfortable shooting down Illuminates in this bottom lane. And they just want to stall it. They don't want to lose that tower on the bottom lane. That opens up some area in their jungle that should be reserved for freeze. So this bottom lane, if they die a couple times, it's okay, but they really do not want to lose the tower, and they really do not want to give away Keeper's positioning at any time.
And it does get a very good timing on the Midas. 6.5 minutes it is out there on him. Bottom lane, looking to chase down FY. It's up to the Shrine, but the Shrine not at the ready. Doesn't need it though. OG aren't going to chase that call.
His move speed is ridiculously high. He hits at 440 move speed with Tranks and the Windlace.
Jerax actually came round there. RTK was a little slow on the Hoostom. I don't think he expects to see the Starlight just appearing behind his own tier 1. Yeah, as you see, FY just zipping into position. Looking to maybe get a good blast from the backside onto Notel.
Dire's middle tower.
Notel will take the full brunt of it.
And be able to kill that for another
sneaky
plus
FY.
Yeah.
Proving to be very useful in this spot.
He has 2 points in the missile too, so it's not inconsequential that he's killing those missiles so easily. And he's 440, so it's really easy for him to A-click those down. So let's see, when are things actually going to shake up in the lanes? They have Invoker Sunstrike, so I don't really expect him to move. He also has Midas, so he's completely content with farming. Naga Siren's also pretty content with farming. It's pretty much when the Gyrocopter decides that it's a good time for them to push towers. Maybe when some mech hits on a Darkseer for OG, but that's still going to be quite some time away. Gyrocopter does not have an Aquila, so his tower pushing on this is going to be very minimal, especially with FY constantly blasting. This tower is at like 95% HP. So it's going to take them a lot of time to get this. And in the meantime, Warlock, in the top lanes, farming level 6. Aggressive, what we see here has left the lane open for his support buddy.
And it's going to be down to, how much OG can get done with a group top as 5.
I don't know if you want to fight that into 5 though. You sleep into like rock and upheaval,
but they
and
need
into
to,
illuminate.
They need to slow down the Naga for sure, don't they? I mean, if this Naga Siren gets a good Radiance timing, it's going to be very hard for OG.
But how do you actually stop it? You sleep set up into
sure.
illuminate is really difficult. You might actually just have to trade farm for farm, which is not ideal, but it's better than suiciding and feeding the Naga even more. So I don't really think OG's in a good spot right now, mentally and with the state of the game. Naga Siren, like they have eyes in the jungle. I see 2 observer wards deep into the dire territory. JRX seems to have been able to place those, and maybe they can set up a kill with Sunstrike at some point, but Slaughter really has not been able to find too much farm. He is quite a bit of ways, and No-Tail has made that rotation top lane. Now is the time for them to start taking down some towers.
Vacuum is the crush, but TK is going to be fine.
They have
VG.J with the wraparound.
they're smoked, and they have the rock. So this is without the Naga Siren to set up too, so they might not even need it.
They have to be careful, yeah.
Their 5-man is just way too potent. Fatal Bonds is really good at defending against those type of pushes. Radiant has you scan on the bottom lane, expecting the rock to be dropped somewhere, but they just aren't exactly sure where Fenrir is. And JRX maybe expecting to be bottom lane, and by process of elimination, it's most likely going to be top. Perhaps mid around the Invoker, as we see 2 heroes wrapping around.
Maybe see if they can try and catch out aggressive, but it's very hard. I mean, they have a Frostbite and a homing missile. Top lane, S4 just being eyed up by both Fenrir and RTK as he continues to put the pressure on. They'll be aggressive coming back up to this top lane. They want to try and go for a play here. The Whostomp's actually going to miss. The Chaotic offering that won't. Do they have the damage though? And it doesn't look like they do. S4 turns around with the vacuum, allowing the cooldown to connect onto all 3 heroes. Double kill.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has been denied. What surge is this?
Needs to get that Radiance timing. Let's start. Oh, hello, Ben.
Oh, hi.
Hello, Ben.
Hi there.
We're back.
I'm not sure what happened.
I'm not sure. If you guys at home can hear us. But we're back now.
That was just a sick juke by S4 earlier during the Stampede. He kind of like ran left into the trees and then juked it, immediately ran down and kind of pulled ROTK to this terrible position. He'd be pretty close to his blink now had he not taken that spill.
Hags is also closing in on for Fire. It's already over halfway there.
They smoked. S4 Fly and No-Tail smoked up near the Radiant Shrine. Fenrir, no chaotic offering. Stampede is up if they want to save him, so they do need to nail a Frostbite on him, but it's quite difficult in this position.
Oh, they do find the Naga Siren. Immediately going in, and in fact, homing missile. It's on the way. Free will. And from the
he
center.
can mirror image dodge it.
Oh, Ben, you jinxed him.
I said he can. I did not say he will.
Oh dear, big find there for OG.
That was
Freeze.
he talk smack about homing missile, Owen.
Oh well, it's a strong spell.
That was a mad homing missile too. That was really great play by both Ana and No-Tail though. The smoke pop, he immediately knew where he was and he had to get as much damage onto him as possible before the Song of Siren. So they got the Naga kill and the Song of Siren. They've invaded the jungle, and of course without that Sunstrike hit, none of this would have been possible. That was close.
Well, top lane, OG gonna group up. Has the 5. and look to take down a tier 1. It was hiding the tree line, but immediately TP's away. Doesn't want to stick around for this bit of action. FY cleaning out the middle. N0tail cutting the creeps, and the tower will be taken.
Yeah, their objective is not to sack the farm, though. You can see that they're trying to cinch the noose on the jungle, constrict the area that they can farm, and make Naga Siren feel like she's threatened in every corner. As a Naga Siren player, you feel like very threatened whenever your Song of Siren is off cooldown. And luckily for him, he did have an arcane rune, so the window is not that big, but you're like, man, I could die any moment. This is like the worst time possible to die for him. He's 3400 gold, 400 gold away from his first big piece. And OG, it's going to be a long way to take this Roche. They do have the Amplify. I suppose they have the ice armor on that Ogre to mitigate a lot of the damage, but it's still going to be a little bit slow. Actually, they do have the double damage.
We'll be scared now. You know, VG.J know exactly what's going on. Jarek's on the front, trying to kind of
act as a bit of a block, but
no,
they're not close enough. They
probably go in now.
They don't expect this amount of damage, though. You don't expect it to be taken down this quickly. It's a gyro with the helm.
They still might be able to make it over. They are just outside. RTK has Blink. There's going to be the vacuum cooldown coming out from N0tail. RTK coming off the back. Oh! The chaotic offering and the deafening blast in return, trying to hold them back. It's VG.J actually falling low. 2 dead on OG. Sleep comes in. They've managed to find the setup and control onto N0tail. They've popped the Aegis. N0tail. That's the backup of Jerax. Aggressive. In and out at the side of the fight. RTK wants to come back in, and with the Blink, who stops the Illuminate as well. VG.J.
Okay, how many Illuminates was that? That was like, I mean, 4 Illuminates?
It really was. FY, the damage he must have dealt in that team fight.
I'm looking at the damage. Warlocked at 3,500. I believe a lot of it was with the Fatal Bonds.
The Fatal Bonds, yeah.
Oh my goodness, that was crazy. But that's what I'm talking about. Like, you want to limit the Naga's farm, but this is before her Radiance. All they need is a sleep to set up. They actually did not even need a sleep to set up there.
No, they had the sleep halfway through the fight, yeah.
Yeah, they had like 3 or 4 hit with a Fatal Bonds and a 3 or 4 minute Illuminate.
Look at that. I mean, FY,
yeah, that was crazy.
He's pretty much got the axe now. 16 minutes in, axe is going to be complete.
There goes your dream of ending the game before 30 minutes if you're OG. All dreams of that is just completely dashed.
So much tempo gone the way of VG.J off that fight.
They did manage to get the Aegis and the Roshan kill on N0tail, so that is kind of the best thing that was going for them in that particular fight. Invoker is still very, very farmed. The illusions are going to be difficult to do anything with in a large-scale team fight because of the Invoker and Relic, and halfway to the Radiance recipe. And FY's going to have... He has Ags already. So Ags and Gem coming out very, very soon. Usually you see it around the 20-minute mark.
Oh, and they've found S4. And guess who gets the kill? FY. Once again.
FY has been playing amazingly well.
He's had a great series on multiple roles as well.
Yeah, great tournament. And it's not the easiest role, especially his role last game with the Magnus, but the thing is he knows like he doesn't go for the super flashy plays, he just goes for the important ones. Things are getting rougher and rougher. Gyrocopter, you're worried about how you're going to snack a late game versus some of these heroes, especially with a max missile build, because you're not going to be able to have level 4 flak for a little bit of time. It's going to be slower for you to take down those sacks. I think now is when you shift the Helmet Dominator to a fighting team fight item to a farming Ancients item. And just gear up, brace yourself for the 55-minute game if you're Gyro.
I mean, because late game, OG's lineup against VG.J's, it's really hard for them to pull off, isn't it, in comparison to the cores that VG.J have.
Yeah, you need a BKB to be able to team fight, or else you'll just get destroyed after Song of the Siren.
I mean, even if N0tail is able to build up the damage, you're dealing with a late game Weaver, and Gyro is just not going to have the control for that Weaver. It's going to be so hard to get damage. True, yeah, you're relying on the team fight, which is where OG certainly has their strong points.
Yeah, but he needs to be able to get off that damage too. Like if you don't have BKB, you might miss like 4/5 of your flat cannons because of the blinding light. So it's just not an easy game for him. You want MKB, you want BKB, you want a lot more items than what he has right now.
OG with the smoke. Fly, leading the way, seeing what he can find to set up with. He's going to walk right into them. In fact, they see him fly. You got to be careful, son. Immediately, he's down. Did not expect FY to have that, that green gem in his hands.
That's one of those, what? He has gem ags already?
Oh, no tail. Corn on the front will be slowed down by the Stampede. There's the sleep. They've got all four. VG.J into position. Illuminate isn't going to do any damage as of yet, but the chaotic offering certainly will. The Fatal Bonds is laid down. Aggressive. Gucci's forward, looking towards No-Tail. That's what wants to make. The vacuum will drop. They look towards RTK, but the Illuminate heals the Centaur back up. They're trying to TP out, but S4, he's not going to make it. No-Tail as well, going for the TP. Oh, will just get out.
Oh,
nothing to cancel
really close. They try with the Mana Leak Blinding Light. He had like 5% mana left. That would have been devastating had they lost the Gyrocopter there. The fight didn't go as well for VG because they weren't able to actually stack Illuminates.
Well, they might find Anna.
Ooh.
Anna? Needs to be careful that RTK doesn't get a blink Who Stomp. They don't have any high ground vision themselves, that VG.J. They won't see it. In fact, Anna, I'm wondering if he can try and go in with the Starladder to get a kill, but they'll play it safe. Back off.
Risky.
A soldier's fortune.
Very risky indeed. I mean, 10 to 5, 20 minutes in.
Yeah, that fight could have been so much worse though. Like Illuminate coming in with the rock, yeah, it could have been way worse. And I don't think you can fight without a BKB on Gyro if you're OG. If you don't get a BKB on him anytime soon, he's just going to constantly die in the fights, and then he's going to be. You might win the fights, but even if you do, the Gyrocopter is going to die. You cannot suffer that casualty. He is the most important hero to keep alive. Invoker dies, whatever. You have Midas, you already have a lot of gold, and it's going to be very difficult because he has Cold Snap, he has Tornado, he has Ghost Walk to try and evade all these heroes. But Gyrocopter, you can't run away from the fight. You just have to sit there and flag. If you're running away from the fight, you've already lost. And if he runs away, he's already likely going to die. So they need him to be able to stand his ground, do damage with a flat cannon, and just spark himself in a team fight and survive with the BKB.
OG with another smoke movement, trying to make a go onto VG.J. Fenrir on the front lines. Now going to make a go. Stampede has been popped, and yeah, Fenrir's fine. Heals himself up.
This team did not want to commit. If they go down there and they get slept, Centaur Stomp with the Illuminate, it could still be really bad.
OG, you want to try and cut off VG.J here on the retreat, but already they're out by the looks of it. FY into the trees, TP's away. He's fine. RTK doesn't have a TP, but he will be recalled back. And he's out and back to safety thanks to his boy FY.
FY bail RTK out from the laning phase from this mid game.
Jerax was just still hunting just to make sure no one was left behind. Knew that there was no TP.
That would have been so clutch if they could have gotten the gem right there though. No-Till. I see the BKB on the quick buy. He absolutely needs that. Not too much longer to wait for him. You know, 1,600 gold, that's only a couple minutes. Maybe a little bit less if they have some Ancient Stacks, but Ancient Stacks are just hard to do nowadays because of the 2-minute respawn timer.
We're coming forward, drop the wall, but this is all under the eyes of VG.J. They know what's going on. No-Tail. Actually going to get Who Stomped here as RTK comes in with the return. The combo from Anna is dropped. RTK pulling over the Stampede spot. No-Tail melt, and again! Fenrir with the triple, the fatal bonds, and just the Illuminate, the AoE damage coming out from VG.J. It's far too much for OG to deal with at this stage of the game.
Score was what, 3-1, now it's 5-14. They are getting massacred in fight after fight. And they're just not in, like, when's a good fight for them? They thought it was a good fight without the rock. They think it's a good fight right now because it's nighttime, and then in 1 minute they're still gonna have daytime Ags, Gem, and even more items on the Naga server, and maybe not even a BKB on the Gyrocopter.
I'm just struggling to see, Ben, with their lineup. How do they recover when VG.J are doing this to them and getting this momentum? I mean, this Naga's only going to get bigger and bigger, aggressive. He's on par with Freeze's Naga that has a Radiance. You know, his farm as well is incredibly impressive at this stage of the game.
The good thing about the lineup is that they have the Darkseer. With the Darkseer, you always have a lot of upside in a team fight. Like, we've seen like 2-man vacuum walls before, but imagine like 3-4-man vacuum wall with a Solar Crush with a Meteor Blast. People can't die. There are no PKBs on the side of VG.J, and if Naga-san is caught, there is not that sleep button to save them. RTK did almost die at the start of the fight, but...
Oh, Jerax caught out up top. VG.J, kill after kill after kill.
The thing about this particular game is that no one knew that they had Naga up their sleeve. You don't expect them to run the Naga. It was a surprise.
It's similar to what OG did. I get people did it. They knew that OG did the Alchemist, but I don't know if that was something that was necessarily expected in that game that OG took off VG.J.
Yeah.
So the Naga kind of VG.J is a little bit of a say, well, we can do that as well.
And on top of that, it's not like you see the Keeper. You don't expect the Naga just because they pick Keeper every game, right? So and things are daytime. Like, do you want to fight during daytime? They have the heal to deal with now with the Illuminate, and still no BKB to show. And they haven't even gotten a perfect execution of the combo yet, which I think could be strikingly easy at any point in time, really.
Oh, I wondered if RCK was able to get in there in time, but it's going to be held back nobly. Cancel the stun. Top lane though, Jerax. One's aggressive. Have they got the damage taken down for the time lapse? No, they haven't. They do have a follow-up Yules. Pull down there as well. They do surround him and they will take down the Weaver. Big kill for OG.
Mega kill ended. S4 ending up with that one in his bags. And
Roshan is up. If they can, transcend that kill into getting Roche as well.
Sleep in Roche. You know you can just lose the game by you're trying to go for
it. They feel they've got to go for it. They feel they've got to try for it.
Though. Keeper's already there. He already sees it.
It's a sort of a desperation play from OG. Oh, they've got to be so careful though. With the bash, No Tail. He's got to tuck his tail and run. They'll try and song to set up. No Tail is just out of range, so they will survive and shrine up.
Oh, they're all slept.
But the less can be said for Fly. He's left on the back of it all. He's going to be back to Lucky. Anna with this wraparound and the cooldown as well, with the counting offering. Drop connecting onto board. The Fatal Bonds as well. Fly trying with the ulta, but he's down. They did manage to take down RTK and Fenrir.
You have to respect the Shrine. That sleep was not the best. They were on that high ground and were unable to follow up.
They are going to get all the pick off onto Jerax. OG are back into the pit desperately, trying to find a big play out of this. They need it. They get knocked out by the blinding light. Freeze takes down No Tail, and S4 and Anna on the retreat. Diffusal play there to purge the surge, and S4's out. Anna the only one to escape with his life intact. But Roshan is there for the finishing. VG.J will take it.
That just shows you how desperate OG are. They know they're up against all odds going into the Roshan pit. Sleep up. Keeper's had Ags for a good 7-8 minutes now, and they just got destroyed. Not only by the Illuminate, but also by the blinding light. They just stand no chance in there. Gyrocopter's been struggling for his BKB. He can't even pick up the recipe. He's needed that thing 5, 6, 7 minutes ago, and still does not have that shiny yellow form.
It's looking very grim at the moment for OG.
Yeah.
As you said, you know, they're just going for those sort of plays. It's showing us how they know that those kind of plays are the only ones that could bring them back into this one. And their first attempt was not a successful one.
Yeah, it's very difficult though. Like when you have a gyrocopter, you know you're not the best late gamer. It used to be the case because you could just pick up a rapier as a gyrocopter, but times have changed, and you know, up against an Augustin, you just can't deal with the illusions at all. Like even if you get an MKB, they're still very, very tanky, and you like these like heavily reliant BKB position ones are just not popular nowadays anymore, and for good reason. It's just you just can't invest 4,000 gold as a position 1 and expect to really offer that much. Like Luna, I think, was pretty good for a while because you could just use Manta and SD to augment her strengths. But a hero like Gyrocopter, illusions on him are terrible, and he has to build the items himself to actually be able to do the damage. And if we're going to buff a hero up through like external means, like maybe Alacrity, I guess, could be pretty good for him, but he doesn't even synergize that well with Starladder because Amplify, single target, Gyrocopter, really good at AoE magic damage and multiple target physical. So things are looking bad, Owen.
Yeah, it's looking rough for OG. I mean, because the thing is, well, even when it comes to OG's high ground defense, VG.J, they've got a lot of great ways of breaking the base, especially with the Ag Centaur as well.
The thing about Keeper,
so many ways of entrance.
Keeper's also good at sieging because of the vision and the heal. Like he's really good at defending and really good at at sieging, which is very, very rare that you get that 2-in-1
And
combination.
they've got good towers as well. You know, Freeze can go up front with the illusions. You've got aggressive, sitting safely back, pounding out the damage.
Yeah, Naga's pretty terrible at sieging, but she does have the reset button, which is quite nice.
I guess the combination of her and FY, as you said, you know, having that ability to just keep her army alive.
And you could shock her for even lower cooldown on Song of the Siren.
Get over it out and sing a little bit more.
Yeah, and oh my goodness, Centaur has Ags too.
Yeah, they've got everything, Ben.
Oh my goodness.
They're ready to go up there.
Their team fight is unparalleled.
I mean, it just feels like it's going to be so hard for OG to do any damage in these team fights.
It really is.
The heal.
But you need BKB on Gyro.
Ags.
So if you get BKB, you have no damage. But if you go damage, you're just going to die.
You got to go naked rapier, Ben.
BKB rapier. How about that?
No.
Naked
There's
rapier.
no time for BKB, Ben.
He already has the Ogre Club and the hammer.
Then sell it.
Sell it. For what? Half a Demon Edge?
Pretty much.
Less than half a Demon Edge? Oh, it's about half a Demon Edge.
You need something, Ben. I mean, maybe VG.J chill out and they don't push, and then the OG have time. But then what's time going to do?
Five manning.
Yeah, that's true. It's not going to happen. I think OG. I mean, where do you feel this game went wrong? But say, was it the draft? Did you feel that this was going to happen with the draft, or did you feel that OG could have executed the early game a little better?
I feel they were slightly underhanded in the draft, just because of Keeper. I would say Keeper more than Naga, just because like they still have no way to like, even if they were ahead, could they even break high ground? Like, imagine they were up 10, 12, 13, 14,000 gold. Like, what's to stop them from being sleep initiated on, even at a huge gold advantage right outside their base? How do they actually get past this ridiculous spam out with the Keeper Delight and the constant stream of Naga illusions? You'd have to like limit the radiance and just absolutely crush the lanes, but you know, that's a very low probability of happening. That probably happens like 1 out of 10 games if you were to play this in over a very large sample size. So, like, they weren't able to limit the Naga Siren Swarm at all, and really, I think it was a decision for them to dual lane the off lane, where the supports actually couldn't handle the Naga Siren at all. Like, if 2 supports are on bottom, it's just a straight 1-on-1, and Freeze did very well in that matchup, all things considered.
Yeah, he kept absolutely on par with Vanna. With the CS. No doubt about that at all.
Gyrocopter has gotten a lot of flack for just being weak. In general, you're a Gyrocopter player. How do you feel?
I've not played there. I've not touched there.
Okay, well, that probably for a good reason. Good for you.
You know,
you probably gained MMR by not picking him.
And you're looking at those heroes. It's the temptation to play Gyro is not strong at all.
Oh yeah, unless you want to get reported.
For sure.
For sure. Is it that point where you would get reported? Nah, maybe.
Would you report your carry?
Oh no, I would.
You would.
Dude, I do not report people for hero picks.
You don't? Oh, you're a nice man, Ben.
Well, I also random, but
you get reported.
I also give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, yo, what if you have the most godly Gyrocopter player that's played like 3,000 games of Gyrocopter and he picks Gyrocopter? Like, you don't know that. You can't see other people's profile.
But then, if he loses the game?
If he loses the game, well, you probably could have done something better. Are you going to report yourself for losing the game?
You can't actually report yourself.
Yeah, I know, you can't.
Tried.
And you and you wouldn't, because just because someone loses the game, that's not a good reason to report them. You report people for people that completely traumatize your gameplay experience by saying nasty things, or being completely uncooperative, or feed intentionally. That's what I reserve my reports for.
Here we go. We're back in now. We'll see if any reports are going to be happening this game. No feeding. No kind of... There's not been any feeding this game. No one has died over and over again. I mean, the deaths have been spread, really.
It's a really tough call. I know that OG were stuck in a situation where if we wait, we're gonna get crushed by Naga later. But if we go now, we're worse off. We have worse team fight, and we have worse team fight items, and we have less net worth, and we have less positioning advantage because of the Keeper and the gem and other factors involved. And it was just. That has to be one of the most insanely tough calls as a captain, to be able to fight knowing that you have a like 80-85% chance of losing the fight going into it. And it's still early in the game too. It's not like, it's like 50 minutes in, you're not up against Megas. You're not forced to make those dire calls, but that's one sign of a good team. You have to make those calls, and you know that 15% chance now is going to turn into 10% chance later, which is going to turn into 5% chance 20 minutes down the road. So I can't really fault them at all for doing this super risky Roshan play.
It was the only option, really.
It was. Oh, they could just sit back and lose. Report intentional losing.
That's a report.
That's a report.
Yeah. Aggressive, ready to go. Has that DD rune. So ready to start pushing in. Oh.
Okay, it is nighttime. Nighttime, daytime, big difference.
Yeah, oh for sure.
Big
yeah,
difference.
FY is going to be weakened.
I actually think it's like almost a bigger difference than a Night Stalker.
Yeah, because well, at least with Night Stalker you can actively rectify it. Yeah.
And you still like your crippling fear like still does stuff.
Yeah.
But the vision is just ridiculous. Flying vision in Dota has been extremely difficult to balance over the years. Remember when like Visage had familiars that had vision? I don't know if you remember that. Ryder used to be super OP because he had insane flying vision, and soccer used to be popular at the time because of it.
Looks like we have some issues on the side of OG's setup.
The one where they have a knockout opposite team.
Aye.
That's very far.
Aye. Hopefully we'll be able to get it sorted ASAP and see how this high ground siege goes for VG.J. And it's, as you said, the fact that it isn't daytime, is that enough to stop VG.J pushing, or do you think they will still push?
They still have stronger team fight. It's just there's more room for mistakes because you might not be able to like see a hero uphill and jump with Centaur, or you might not be able to hit 3 or 4 heroes with a sleep. You might not be like click a hero with fade ons because you can't see them. There's like a lot of small things that go into it, but I think they're so farmed that it doesn't that much. A little bit. Gold lead is only 10,000. That is definitely in throwable range.
Yeah,
yep.
Sure. But with the heroes that they have, I mean,
with the heroes that they have, it's like
say it was these heroes, but the net worth was even. You'd still favor VG.J, wouldn't you?
I think it's
they
wouldn't be pushing if it were even. They would just wait for OG to come to them. But I think like every 5 minutes past like 20 minutes is like an inherent like 3 or 4,000 gold net worth disadvantage just because of the nature of their lineup. You're dealing with the Naga Siren, and then maybe late game once Gyro gets 6 slotted versus Naga 6 slot. You approach parity.
It looks like, alright, it could be sound issues, not too sure what the cause of this pause is. Oh, I think we're getting a cheer there, maybe for the FY kind of stretch out. You see, look very relaxed there in that position. And the Chinese memes going strong there. What does it say? Do you know what that says, Ben?
VG.J.
And what about the bit in the Chinese characters?
I actually cannot read it anymore.
Oh, I can read that one. CN Dota best Dota. Well, in this series, that man might just be right. It's looking pretty hot so far. It's been a very, very exciting series. Game 1.
See, this Naga Siren game has been interesting.
It has, for sure. I mean,
I like the psychological aspect that it puts on the other team. It's like, okay, you have a Naga Siren that you have to deal with. It is, and it's very interesting to see how they deal with it. And this game, kind of throwing themselves head on into very dubious situations was the best decision that they could probably make at the time. But I always like looking at the psychology and how they handle it, because you evolved in that situation in the game. There's a free farming anti-mage, farming Naga Siren, and you know something really bad is going to happen in 10-15 minutes. You don't do something about it now, and that's when your true character shows, Owen. When you make tough decisions under pressure. Absolutely. It reveals a lot about a team, though.
It does.
The bad teams would have let the Naga Siren farm, and they would have lost in 40-50 minutes without fighting.
It could have just stretched on. Here we have it, back in. The fight to begin. Cooldown will be dropped. They'll drop the wall as well. They have managed to get a good stun on to the Centaur. ROTK trying to get out. Definitely lost there from Anna. Now the sleep comes through. Chaotic offering dropped onto Notel as well. Held in place by net. Your Gyro's out. No buyback either.
That also sucks about getting BKB. You get BKB and then you get slept and then you get isolated. That's 1v5, literally, inside your T3. And you can't even try because you're netted. That's awful. I feel so bad for No-Tail right now. That is, he worked so hard to get that BKB, and then it just gets used against him.
It didn't do anything to save him.
But on the flip side, Freeze slept at a very good time, and he is definitely an experienced Naga player.
Nearly funny, aggressive time lapses, looks back towards Jerax. Nice wall from Anna will hold them outside of the base, VG.J. Nice to get the tier 3 down very, very low.
They can just wait, they can maybe knock down the T3 once it's daytime, reclaimed in 1.5 minutes, 1 minute 55 seconds, so it's daytime in just a couple minutes actually, so actually they will not have enough time. But that's another thing about Kira Light. Okay, just TP back home, I'll recall you boys, you got full HP and full mana, I can heal you, but not in the traditional way.
They can consistently maintain that pressure.
Yep, they want to knock down the T3. At least knock down the T3 so they can open up the shrines.
Jerax out on the map, maybe just seeing it, trying to push the lanes back out really. No-Tail, he's been found out by FY, and FY brings aggressive across. I look to chase in onto No-Tail, forcing him to BKB. They won't kill him, but they will get a second charge out of it. No-Tail back to high ground. That's the base down there. Leading him with the combo on RTK, but again, Ags, Stampede, minimal damage taken as RTK is able to walk it off.
Man, Ags is so strong. Without Ags, he would have taken probably 2,300 damage after having a hood.
Yeah, it would have been dead, wouldn't it? It would have been dead.
You know, he definitely would have been dead, but Ags is really good. It replaces BKB. That's the thing, a lot of teams have been searching for like items that give similar survivability BKB without actually having to build a BKB, and Stampede is just insane. You give your whole entire team that much damage mitigation for 4,000 gold, 4,200.
No-Tail looking to try and follow through on the fight here as Jerax makes the lead in. Will be held back by a hoof stomp. They don't connect with the cooldown. Fly with the Glimmer Cape will be able to survive for a little bit as he jukes out aggressive. The chase down is there from OG. As they continue to go,
they get the gem.
Take FY and indeed get that gem on the back lines. Fly will fall. Oh, up top though, the chaotic offering has been dropped. RTK back in with the Who Stomp will be used up by Anna. S4 and No-Tail trying to chase down Fomria into the tree line. They'll take down the wall as well. They have got to. They'll lose Jerax for it. Aggressive turned up. OG have to get out. Anna tried to TP away, but the Blink Who Stomp was there as well as the sleep, holding the Invoker back, and VG.J will end up walking away with the team fight as aggressive turns up for the cleanup.
And you mentioned it, is it too risky for them to actually push and take a team fight during nighttime? And they took a couple of casualties. They did end up repossessing the gem after FY initially fell. But all in all, they still have a lot of fail safes for their team fight. They thought it was a good time to fight. That's Stampede's on cooldown. Let's go, guys! Right? That's kind of just the mentality that you have to have. It's a big ultimate in this game.
No-Tail just trying to get whatever he can really put together. He's picked up an S and Y.
He's not going to take your advice and go for the naked rapier.
Yeah, we needed the naked rapier, Ben.
That thing would have been fed over so fast.
Dump it, or RTK just going straight into the base, just seeing if he gets any sort of initiation. Find No-Tail. RTK and the boys back off.
So there's so many things they can push right now. They can like slow siege top, they can take bottom T3, they can wait for Roshan, they can just farm, they can just sit back and D-ward and then farm. Like they have a lot of options open to them right now.
Octarine now complete the freeze.
That is nasty. Her items.
All lanes are going to be consistently up to the high ground of OGs.
Wow, she went for the very survivable build too. 125 health at level 10 and 20 strength at level 20. Okay. You can also do that with Ags. You just run around through trees, cliffs. That's great. That's great.
What do OG do? VG.J.
Think about contesting Roche?
I mean, this
I don't know if you can contest Roche.
There's got the kind of ramifications that people have been talking about. You know, VG.J win this series, man. I mean, this could be the series that could secure this team an invite to the major. This is huge for these guys, isn't it?
Oh, it's real big. I think
if you take OG down in the semi-finals, VG.J. I mean, it would be great to see this team at the major as well. They've shown us some very entertaining stuff. They're very versatile in what they can do.
Yeah, Naga hasn't really been explored by the Chinese scene so much. Like, I've still never seen him play Naga Siren. No. And you know, he's one of the top carries in the Eastern scene. And when it's just not available to a hero, to a player like that.
And again, ROTK just stampeding casually up the cliff and away from Jerax. Let's see what kind of issue we've got going on here at the moment. It's like
I saw him calling someone over, but who knows?
Something on Anna's PC. I'm always interested to see what these pauses are for. We don't always get told. He just he looked at the back of the monitor, and then he rang someone on his walkie-talkie. And he's pointing at the screen.
Give me more detail, please. Please, Owen.
He's saying, guys, this gyro's got an SMY. We need someone to help. And then they're like, no, we can't fix that, Jeff. That's part of the game. There we go. G ready. We're back in. Maybe we can still see the dream. Get it going 20 more minutes. Gyro Rapier. Maybe OG's only hope, because VG.J full control.
I think it's necessary at this point. I think your next item is Rapier. Let's see his quick buy.
What's he quick buy?
Is MKB.
Oh, Ben, that's like halfway to Rapier. MKB is like...
MKB is important. Blinding Light Radiance.
It's true. Yeah, he's got a BKB though. That's like a temporary MKB for the...
Not against Butterfly.
Who's got a Butterfly, Ben?
No one.
Exactly.
That's true. He does... oh wait, Naga doesn't have that. And
yeah, does he have an invasion?
He did. He used to have an invasion.
He used to have one, didn't he? Yeah, before two. Oh, look at that. 20,000 net worth. Doesn't really come as a surprise from what we're seeing on some of the cores and supports of VG.
Something that's going good for OG is that Roshan is almost maximum respawn time at 11 minutes. And it's been 9 minutes post-death. So Roshan respawns in another 2 minutes, but can they kill aggressive here?
It's a big kill if they can. Set up looking for Jerax, but he tries to get the Amplify out first. But
that was greedy.
Yeah.
Going for the amp. That was so greedy.
Or the Corrosive Haze, Ben.
Corrosive Haze.
Come on, Ben, it's 2017.
Technically, it does amplify damage taken.
True, that's what we were referring to. Not these official Valve names. Corrosive Haze. Sounds like something that you use as pleasurable fluid. Did you bring the Corrosive Haze, babe? Bottom lane, RTK looks for the lead in. Anna, net it up. OG in the base, taking a chaotic offering to the face. BKB's popped by No-Tail, Freezing Field from Fly on the high ground. Trying to bring down RTK, but Anna focused first by the side of VG.J. No Invoker for 80 seconds. He does not have buyback. The shortest song in the world there from Freeze. It's a PM song. He's singing the song of his people. The murder tune of OG as Fly heading back to base, taken down by the Riptide of the Naga. OG falling to pieces. No-Tail, can he make it back to safety? He will just in time, but S4's down. 3 heroes without buyback. And VG.J will for sure be able to clean up the bottom set of racks. Can they get anything more? That's the question. Still looking fairly healthy. They'll move over to mid. VG.J just getting as much done as they can with this time. OG will shortly have the full 5-man backup. It looks like they are going to hold on and try for one last hoorah of a defense. But there isn't going to be much left to defend as VG.J are destroying the base. Cheers from the crowd come through. They know that this is incredibly good for VG.J. ROTK, oh, with a little hoof dance. Imagine missed on No-Tail heads forward. Team, he says, where are you? Anna says, I'm dead. S4 says 4 ahead. They need them quick. Now they're back up, but No-Tail, he's lost the BKB, he's already used it. The combo's there from Anna in the dark tip, but it's not enough. It's not enough with the song set up. ROTK coming in. There will be a tornado coming through, but Jerax has to back up. S4 and Anna, they just can't do enough damage. There'll be a buyback from Jerax. Anna surrounded. A good crush from Jerax up. In fact, with a freezing field, they've just gone and killed aggressive. Weaver's gone, but so has the entirety of OG's racks. And ROTK amplified. Can they get anything more, OG? They need as much as they can, but aggressive is back. Looking to take down Fly. Greaves is not going to save to CM. Jerax is down as well. Anna is out. GG is pulled.
Very well played by VG.
Knocked out by VG.J in the semi-finals. We have a chance that I think they could be considered one of, if not the hottest team in China at the moment. This team, fun to watch.
It's like, oh, we've got a 70-minute game on our hands.
Does Freeze play Naga? I haven't followed his TDC Masters games or anything.
I have not seen it competitively.
Okay.
A 0% win rate coming into this match.
Yeah, look, that's out of 3. Small sample size.
Yeah, sure.
That's probably DC playing it or something.
So it's probably an aggressive Naga, or is it Freeze, do you think?
I haven't seen aggressive really play it either, so...
It's not an aggressive hero.
No, aggressive
in both ways.
In your face. Yeah, Naga's anything but in your face.
I'd rather see playing Centaur, you know?
What if it's an F-wide?
What if it's an off-lane Cottle and a mid-Warlock and a safe-lane Centaur?
Then you have to send the Darkseer mid.
Yeah, Darkseer has to go mid, Shiver. We've been over this. Come on, keep up.
No, I think, in terms of curveballs, it did work out very well last game. And, there are some curveball possibilities, but at the same time, you can't go too crazy.
I like this. We saw this with Wings against Newbee back at Genting, right? They had like a pocket pick lined up basically every game, right? They had the Necrophos. I forgot what it was the other few games, but just something a little bit to throw things off from the team that is probably the favorite or the most consistent. So, again, that swashbuckling attitude, I love that. And who knows? I think this series
the
is
Gyro is kind
become...
of like a surprise pick, though, I feel, at the same time.
Yeah.
But with Gyro, you want to end this game fast before the Naga gets all those items, so... Not exactly best here to deal with illusions.
With Side Gunner, however, he can fire during sleep. Isn't that correct?
Yes, it's correct.
Just pointing that out. Alright, Weaver is going to be picked up there.
If you're worried about the late game, I think you might consider Lion just to clear the illusions, but I think the CM or the Dazzle's like the better support to fit your draft. Like CM Aura for the Darkseer, the Gyrocopter is amazing. Dazzle's really good for early aggression, but...
You get the root for the Weaver as well.
Yeah, root for Weaver. But if you're worried, if you think it's going to go late, the Lion is just the better natural illusion clearer. So those are the main considerations for OG.
You're thinking of Lion?
Yeah, go CM though. The Lion is CM, yeah.
I like that CM pick. I mean, as Mr. Parker said, a lot of mana, a little bit of stuns, keeping that early game and give him that advantage. But, whoo, man, the team fight coming out from VG, boys.
So who is going to face Team Liquid in the grand finals? That is the question that is on all of our minds. Jake.
You know what? Screw it. I'm going to be going with VG.J. I mean, they got Naga, they got Warlock. Let's freaking go.
I like VG.J, but I think OG got exactly what they want with the Darkseer Slatter. I'm going to have to stick with OG.
I mean, you were kind of set from the start, Jack. Do I need to ask you? Are you just going to go for OG, or?
I'm not going to step away from that. I like the synergy in OG's draft, and I still think that they're executing at a very high level right now. I think as long as they don't get out-drafted, anything throws them off too much, I think they're good.
All right, well, we will find out. It is time for the final game of the semi-finals. Over to OD
VJ and OG.
Radiance build, personally. You know how there's like non-Radiance build Alchemist? I do actually believe that with the talents, Naga Siren has some pretty good ones for actually manning out. You get 125 health pretty early on, 15 agility, 30 attack speed. You have like a lot of damage talents that you can right-click and keep in mind that these are mostly terrible with Radiance. Like, Radiance has very little synergy with attack speed, agility, so on and so forth. So, well, He goes, but I haven't seen anyone actually try it in a professional game just because Naga's not really that popular. But I think with a keeper, your idea is to wait until late game, get Radiance, split push, get huge.
But as you mentioned, you feel that in the early game, in the mid lane, Freeze might have a bit of a tricky time against Hannah's Invoker.
Yeah, they don't
It's
have
not
good
the
heroes to
easiest.
roam. Like, are Warlock and a Keeper really going to help out the Naga Siren? Like, kind of. You can, like, throw heals now and then.
I mean, I guess they can, because aggressive himself on the Weaver, he doesn't need too much help in that lane. You know, he can kind of be left alone, can't he?
Yeah, but even if the supports like leave and go mid, you're not worried about dying. Like, what's Warlock going to do? Heal you and then you just run away.
Yes,
just go to quad. Like, they have very little kill potential in the mid lane. Like, you kind of just free to do whatever you want. And that's great for a Crystal Maiden. You don't want to have to help out your mid lane. You can just get level 2, level 3, get some levels of an Arcane Aura, and like, boom, okay, all lanes secured.
It's true, that aura is very, very tasty. And the lanes, as they come through, nothing too surprising.
There is FY already in the offlane with ROTK. ROTK has struggled into 1-on-3 situations, and they've mitigated that a lot. Firstly, throwing FY in the safe lane last game, ROTK in the jungle with the Iron Talent, which he's had a lot of success with, but this game, they are actually going to throw FY down there. And they have a really nice ward on the bottom lane. We're not actually able to see some of the illumination stuff.
Jerax, I don't think that he was hiding in the tree line. Comes across, and in fact, well, with the homing missile, No Tail, and Jerax surrounding ROTK. Do they have the damage to bring him down? ROTK, very, very tanky, nonetheless, but they come in with a second Frostbite, and they'll do it. And there we have it, Ben. Level 1 homing missile. Who would have thought it?
You are the most anti-rocket person I've ever talked to.
I know. I think I'm crying inside. Level 1 homing missile. I mean, it did the job, Ben. I mean, that is... You don't see that every day.
You don't. 125 damage.
Yeah.
Does not sound like a lot.
But it's the setup there, the surprise potential.
It definitely was
They were like,
surprising.
wow, he's got missile level 1, boys. I mean, I guess it makes sense as well, you know, over the time, just all the nerfs to rocket barrages. Level 1, the damage that does is very underwhelming in comparison to the beast that Gyrocopter was in the past.
Usually you like damage, though, without the rocket barrage, but
True.
When you have 3 heroes there with the right click, it certainly helps.
S4 on this top lane. I mean, do you feel that is this a pretty easy lane for S4 to have free farm up here?
Darkseer's got so many nerfs. Not so many nerfs, but the most recent one is really painful. The one where he has 2 clarities in lane on top of having CM Aura. That's how badly the mana nerf.
What this game's gonna be.
Wow, really taking some time on this
What
one.
if it's a carry centaur? What if it's mid centaur versus mid Darkseer?
Listen, we said a lot of dumb things on this
We
panel.
have, however, seen a carry centaur before.
Yes.
No, not this tournament.
That goes way back.
That's way back. What
What?
patch
It
was
wasn't that way back. It was like maybe not even half a year ago.
WSG time?
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think that Alchemist is a hero that OG may go back to if you're not careful. I don't know if you have to 4th ban it, because I feel like if you're OG, you may really consider like 4th pick Alch. You have a Darkseer Starladder, very good defending high ground. So I do feel like that can play into an Alchemist strat very well.
10 seconds.
It's normally something OG kind of leave like as a last minute surprise, but I would legit consider an Alch if I'm OG here.
Yeah, of course.
You wouldn't wait for it to be a last pick?
I think more like a 4th pick, because I think it could very well be 5th banned.
Yeah.
So I think you'd rather 5th pick it, but with the if you feel like an Alchemist is going to win you the game, then 4th pick it, because otherwise it's going to get banned. And Anna's pool right now is what, Invoker still in the pool.
Yeah, but if they 4th pick it, there's still a 4th pick of VG.J after that, so they still got 2 picks to prepare for it.
No, absolutely. They could pick Timbersaw against it, lots of things. No Tail Gyrocopter. He loves this here. I saw him actually just playing a pub last night on it where he went like 15-1 against his own teammates.
Damn.
He's one of the few players who seems to still make Gyrocopter relevant.
I mean, people have tried this before in this tournament. It did not work out.
It's a fighting carry. Combos well with the vacuum crush into cooldown and all that.
Super surprising.
It's a good space creating carry if you want to go Alchemist. This is where I'm like, yeah, go Alchemist, guys. You got Gyrocopter, you can create space.
Free eggs. Huh? Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it certainly goes away from bit of a greedier carry philosophy that we saw last game. One of the strengths of Gyrocopter being able to mix it up very well early on.
Going high ground just got a little bit harder.
Yeah.
For OG anyway, as Keeper of the Light will be in the hands of VG.J again.
Could be seeing that Underlord picked up again, eh? No.
Unless you do have the Alchemist, like God said, again, being able to deal with some of that nuke and wave clear and just heal his way through it.
I mean, look at Alchemist and Invoker, the two main Ana heroes I see left, I want to say. He doesn't play Shadow Fiend. He's going to go for the Invoker, though.
Okay.
So not wanting to go too greedy. This reveals pretty much everything. They haven't picked up Fly's hero, but I expect something pretty standard.
Yeah, we
Crystal
still have a lot of
Maiden
his
or
heroes in the
something,
pool. Dazzle.
Yeah, Dazzle.
Obviously the main one in that case.
10 seconds.
Any heroes for Fly that would pair up better with a Gyrocopter?
5 seconds.
Maybe something like Avenge as well.
I think CM is sick just because you have so many heroes that benefit from the aura this game. Darkseer, a lot of the nerfs he received was to the Iron Shells. Wow.
Oh!
To ban.
The crowd's loving it. The Naga's tired.
Naga!
Normally,
Back to our roots.
Yeah,
80-minute games, Farm Wars. Yeah!
Actually, this is very different to the crowd's reaction to Naga. I think back when OG was playing Naga at MDL back in September, the crowd groaned noticeably.
I'm OD Pixel, I'm here with Malini. We've seen the drafts again, exciting stuff as they switch it up once more.
Did you see the Naga?
Gyro. I mean, Naga,
I feel like that's the
what's going
standard. It's so exciting. Actually, Naga is kind of exciting now.
Naga is exciting.
I do like Naga.
If you're a person who hates yourself and life. I mean, the other heroes, Ben, they're exciting. But Naga's starting. Let's talk about this. So they picked up the Naga.
Yeah, and it is actually Freeze playing it.
It is Freeze playing it. The panel had some questions about what we're going to see, and you know, we haven't seen a lot of Freeze. You know, is this new player? Mid lane Naga. Are OG ready to deal with this? The Nagas come through. Do you feel that OG have a lineup that can deal with the potential threat of a huge Naga, or is it about finishing the game early for OG?
That's usually the main concern when you're up against the Naga Siren. Can you actually finish the game early? Like, even if you win the lanes, you still have to be able to take racks, take some T3s, and Gyrocopter, not the best building hitter, same with the Invoker, so I'm actually a little bit scared for the high ground defense. I do think they have a lot stronger lanes, like mid Naga versus Invoker. Invoker's perfectly okay. I do like the route on the Crystal Maiden too, set it for the Sunstrike. If they went for something like Lion for the Hex, it gets countered pretty hard by Stampede, and I do like the route a little bit more versus the Weaver. I don't know. Naga Siren, she doesn't have a good lane to go in. Mid's not that great, especially Invoker with the CM aura. Top lane is just terrible. You don't want to be matched up versus Darkseer. And bottom lane is going to be occupied by Centaur. So I'm a little bit fearful for the Naga Siren. I also just don't particularly favor the heavy farmers. Naga Siren, one loss by Liquid earlier. Anti-Mage, one loss, another loss by Liquid earlier, and it just doesn't really seem like the particular patch, maybe nor the tournament for these type of heroes.
But is it the patch for Gyrocopter? That's another hero that's been very hit and miss when we've seen it come through.
I like Gyro with the Axe build, and
you like the Axe build?
Yeah, Axe is good.
Okay.
You can do damage while I think one of the really underestimated parts about Gyrocopter is not that many heroes that can do a lot of damage while moving. It's like Leshrac,
it's true.
Gyrocopter, and mobility is going to be pretty important in the fights. You're going to be kited a lot by the Weaver, by the Centaur, so on and so forth. And you also don't die a lot. We used to see like S and Y rush on Gyrocopter, so you get a lot of HP. You would even get the Sage before the Yasha because you wanted to survive.
I mean, you think? What do you think Noto's going to do this game? Is it going to be kind of? Will he still get the? I mean, Helm's got to be a surefire bet, surely, on the Gyrocopter. So do you think you can skip it
as long as you can
phase SMY?
Helm is just like, you don't really want to be stacking and farming. Even if you get Helm, you still play very actively with a creep. So anything that helps them team fight is generally what I deem the best build. Naga Siren I actually think is viable without the has hurt the Darkseer. You actually have to think twice about picking him as offlaner, which is a good thing.
That's a bit of a clap from the crowd there as FY is able to farm the homing missile. But indeed, just Notel sending it out, keeping RTK well away from the creep wave. Trying to make sure he finds a limited experience from this lane. Middle lane, Anna versus Freeze. Well, the Naga with the poor match, he's doing okay. He's 13 for 2 against the 11 for 2. He's holding his own very nicely in the middle.
He is indeed.
Both safe lanes, 16 for 3 on aggressive. No tail, 10 for 5, so a little less on the CS, but does have that involvement in that first blood, of course.
The CS doesn't count the mirror illusion kills, or mirror image kills, which gives not that much gold, not that much experience, but still alright, I suppose.
As for level 4, very... has that money, in fact, to get the soul ring out. Now help himself sustain a little better in the lane. Keep that pressure onto aggressive underneath the tower. As it happens at the moment, aggressive well and truly fine. You've got Fenrir pulling off the pulls and keeping good momentum of that top lane. Good control, so they find as much as they can, the two of them out of it. RTK coming forward once more, but does have to be careful. Can constantly fly, and Jerax looking for any sort of opening to come in for a bit of a kill. But, I mean, RTK, as we saw, even the first time when they did kill him, it takes a lot of time. That Centaur's incredibly tanky in this laning stage.
They also have the Observer Ward in the lane, so they're not really going to be able to catch Centaur that far away. Every time he gets rocket, he pulls back into the Keeper's line of fire for the Illuminate.
A soldier's fortune.
Jerax just getting away with stealing the bounty rune.
They had the Observer Ward up there, so they actually expected someone else to be jungling very early on into the game. Probably the Centaur, expecting him to face up a couple of deaths early, but I don't think they expected FY to start down on the bottom lane. And now that it's nighttime, it's really difficult to actually deal with this. You can't always have eyes on the Keeper light, so he can just be casting Illuminate from any of the trees, really. FY, TP to the mid lane, drop an Observer Ward, and looks like that will be the extent of his actions.
Well, Jerax isn't going to be able to do anything about that. He's zipping around with the haste rune. Bottom lane, RTK. Another missile connecting. No follow-up, no tail. He's trying to keep control of the space that he has down here on the safe lane. And it is aggressive, still having the better time in lane up on the top. Not missing a creep by the looks of it. Bottom lane, no tail. He's going to try and go in back with the rocket barrage. Ooh, it's incredibly close. The turnaround play is there as FY is there for the silence, but a nice sunstrike from Anna. Make sure that the trade does happen.
That's pretty close. I think Gyrocopter just picked up a